Okay, so to begin, common balance sheet characteristics of restaurant and hotels. I'm going to talk about only owned hotels and restaurants just to narrow it down. So hotels, they're going to have a lot of PP&E in comparison to restaurants, and restaurants will have a lot of PP&E, but just not as much as hotels. So if you look at the Morgan hotels, their PP&E is 289,169. That's a lot. Hotels are going to have some cash on hand. Their cash and cash equivalents is 28,855, but not as much as a restaurant. So taking a look at the Cheesecake Factory, their cash and cash equivalents is 48,211. So not as much as a restaurant, but still. Also, restaurants that own are going to have very little accounts receivable. So taking a look at Cheesecake Factory's accounts receivable, they have 11,334. So very little accounts receivable. And restaurants are also going to have very little working capital, but they're going to have a lot of current liabilities. So taking a look at Cheesecake Factory current liabilities, that comes out to their total current liabilities is, look at that number, 223,240. That's huge. More so than their total assets. So yeah, so pretty much for hotels, their PP&E is going to be huge. They're not going to have as much cash and cash equivalents on hand as a hotel. For restaurants, they're going to have more cash on hand than a hotel, but their PP&E is not going to be as high as a hotel. They're going to have very little accounts receivable as a restaurant, and their current liabilities are going to be a lot more than their total assets. So that's pretty much what you're going to see on the balance sheet for a hotel and restaurant being owned. That is very important that you realize that these are the characteristics for hotels and restaurants owned, not under franchises. They're owned hotels and restaurants. These are the characteristics.